Wolverine was Hugh Jackman's longest-standing role in his career, and when he finally set down his claws, he was pretty sure he'd wrapped up the character for good. But soon, he realized he wasn't done being the superhero after all. So when exactly did he decide to return, and what's the story behind it? We've got all the inside news, so stay tuned to find out about Hugh's comeback in the upcoming Deadpool 3. Starting with when he felt instant regret. Back in 2016, when Logan was announced, Hugh had already decided he wasn't going to return to the character ever again. Most of that decision came from his talk with Jerry Seinfeld, who'd advised him never to overstay his welcome. Obviously, we all know the X-Men had done that, and there wasn't much left with the franchise except for one snarly, iron-clawed hero who refused to give up. Welp, he was finally ready to do it. Hugh Jackman was ending his 17-year run playing the mutant, and he was nervous but glad when he was ending things on his own terms. And then Deadpool happened. In an interview with Deadline, Hugh says it was about 20 minutes into the film that he realized, he maybe wasn't done with Wolverine yet. Well, indeed, because it had already been a few weeks after his announcement to put down his claws once and for all, but hey, we all have second thoughts, right? And the guy had played this role for almost 2 decades. Watching another superhero flick was obviously going to revive some memories, and they probably would have remained memories only if it wasn't for his hangover from his recent film, The Sun, and his break after a whopping 10 months of constant work. Next came his call to Ryan Reynolds. Believe it or not, the call did happen right away. Call it his hangover after the super serious movie he'd done with Florian Zeller, or his moment of clarity after months and months of hard work. But whatever it was, the moment came to him on a beach where he finally realized that he really wanted to go back and play Wolverine again, and that was when he rang Reynolds. Well, fans of the X-Men rejoiced because once he called his co-star, everything automatically started falling into place. Of course, Ryan's ability to hold on to the idea like a golden Rottweiler puppy is also part of why we're seeing this happen again. Even Hugh himself has joked about how the Deadpool star would show up on his doorstep every day with signs saying, "Please," just so he'd be convinced to return. And while that may be an over-exaggeration on his part, Reynolds really was stoked to find out about his decision because as soon as he connected with Hugh, he literally asked, "Are you serious?" Honestly, we don't blame him. We'd have asked him the same thing. After that, their meetings with Marvel began, and Fox too, because they were the ones who had been in charge of the Wolverine and X-Men franchises all these years. And let's just say both actors and the studios had to cut through a lot of red tape to get us to this moment, which we're pretty thankful about. But while this is recent news, Reynolds has been on Feige's case about the character's return for a long time. In fact, when Disney bought Fox, guess the remaining piece of the puzzle was Jackman saying yes, and when he did, everything fell into place. Now, what's Hugh's plan for Wolverine? Obviously, all that's pretty hush-hush. Sure, Jackman has said that we should be prepared for an angrier, snappier character from him, but knowing what we know about the mutant, we can't expect anything less. Especially now that we know he'll be pairing alongside Deadpool, no sane person can take that level of sass without losing their cool, and Wolverine, well, let's just say the guy's as far from sane as Deadpool himself. Honestly, both of them are like two sides of a coin. One's a chirpy, sarcastic jerk, while the other is an angry, traumatized mutant. That's not a pair who can live in harmony for long. The actors also said that he'll be taking a swipe or two at Deadpool, but that's a given. The question is, what's his story going to be? We're sure there will be a couple of jokes about his return, but considering we're all about time travel in Deadpool now, maybe he'll go back in time and meet Wolverine at some point? Or maybe, knowing it's Deadpool we're talking about, maybe he'll go back in time to kill his ugly X-Men self and meet Wolverine there. Hey, as far as meta plots go, this movie of all MCU films can definitely go there and do that. Also, will this change Logan's timeline or events? Nope. In his various interviews about Wolverine and his journey in the MCU, Hugh Jackman and even Ryan Reynolds have said that they aren't going to change what happens in Logan. The events of that movie happened in 2029 anyway. So, guess we've got plenty of time for them to explore an alternate reality with him before he returns to his dark and bleak world again. again. This could also mean that this film could take place sometime in the past when our favorite clawed mutant is still alive. In fact, Reynolds has even said that they figured out a way to add Wolverine to the film, which is both Hugh Jackman and Kevin Feige approved. Of course, they haven't told us exactly how or what the approval is, but as long as they protect Logan's legacy and keep the essence of his character alive, we're no one to complain. Moving on, will Wolverine appear in Secret Wars? Now that's $1 million question we have absolutely no idea about. First off, let's clarify one thing. For us, Wolverine's return for even one film is gold. But if he does appear in Secret Wars, that'll be a dream come true for us. Especially considering there's a possibility of X-Men being in it too. At least, if Charles Xavier's Earth 838 entry is any indication, we know there are no X-Men films in line for MCU. But hey, a cameo or two never hurt anyone. And if you think about it, Secret Wars will have superheroes from all over the multiverse entering Battleworld. So if that's true, there's definitely a place for Wolverine and his mutant gang there. Let's not forget, Hugh Jackman was pretty interested in taking that path with his character, so you never know, maybe the events of Logan happen long after he's done with Secret Wars in the upcoming war. That'll definitely explain his anger from the film. Coming up, what's next in Hugh Jackman's career? Because Wolverine may be his titular character here, but guys, the actor's got a whole lot of skills outside of snarling and clawing his way out of messy situations. In fact, he's also recently commented that if you looked at him beyond the superhero character, he's a lot different from him. He's even commented how he's mostly similar to his recent character from The Sun, Peter. There, he plays a father who's trying to do right by his family while also struggling with his past trauma from his own dad. If you asked us though, we'd say Hugh's a lot suited to impactful characters like what he's played in X-Men and The Greatest Showman, or even James Bond. But if you're about to get your hopes up by imagining him as Ian Fleming's historical hero, stop. Because the actor's already refused the role once, we don't think he's in the run for being Bond anytime in the future. Wait up, he rejected James Bond? When? Way back in 2005 when the franchise was on the lookout for their next spy for the reboot of Casino Royale. As a matter of fact, it was his popularity as Wolverine which got him the offer. But that was the time when he was totally immersed in his superhero role, and he thought if he accepted Bond, he won't have time to do anything else. Also, clearly the actor was interested in different roles, and if he had picked Bond, he'd be doing the same action work only with different franchises. So he turned it down, and the character went to Daniel Craig instead. You do you, Hugh, that's all we gotta say. And if being bound by Bond is not you, we're no one to stop him, are we? At least he's returning to mainstream cinema with Deadpool. And finally, when is Deadpool 3 releasing? There's a lot of time to wait for that because the film's set to release exactly 2 years from now, on November 8th, 2024. Even with Marvel's delays and setbacks, the film was set to come out in the same year, so it's not like our wait has been extended or anything. But to think that there are still almost 700 or so days left till the release, we're just wondering what we'll do until then. Hey, maybe we can make a video of all the meta jokes Deadpool is going to make about Wolverine in the film? Not the worst idea we think. So maybe we'll see you with that list next? And that's a wrap for this video for now. How excited are you to watch Jackman return to his role as the scowl-faced Wolverine? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.